everyone, and welcome to the Kennedy Compound. I'm your host, Mark Kennedy, and this is Bold Predictions. If you watched our bold predictions from last week, well, I don't think anyone could have predicted that week. It was nuts. And I'll tell you, it's shaping up to be another one just like that. We've got 7 games on tap here in the SEC, and, well, we'll discuss them because it's going to be pretty interesting. Some of these games are going to have a lot to do with who and who does not have a shot at going to Atlanta and moving on to the playoffs. So without further ado, let's just dive right into this. So we have an 11 o'clock game. This is South Carolina at Alabama. South Carolina's got a pretty good defense, but they have issues. You don't know what you're going to get from this team. They destroyed Kentucky, who destroyed Ole Miss, who destroyed South Carolina. Anyway, I mean, it's so hard to predict this stuff. Bama last week, where everyone knows what happens there, where Diego Pavia waltzed into town. Actually, they waltzed into his town, and he showed them, this is the back of my hand. And, well, the rest is history. Bama went down. So who's going to respond? Both teams have had a loss. Alabama was a squeaker loss. South Carolina actually got beat pretty soundly by Ole Miss. They're at Alabama. That's pretty much all I need to know. It's going to be a little bit better game than you think. It's not going to be just a bulldozing, but it's going to have a feel kind of like the Ole Miss game last week. My bold prediction: I've got Alabama 31, South Carolina 17. It'd be interesting. I just don't think South Carolina's got the guns to score with them. They may hold them down defensively pretty well, to a degree anyway, but in the end, I just don't think they got what it takes. Next up, this is your second 11 o'clock game. I don't know if I mentioned the other one was 11, but they are. Your second 11 o'clock game is Missouri at UMass. So we're like, 7 weeks into this thing? How are you playing at UMass? And does it really matter? Okay, Missouri is coming off a heartbreaking loss. They should not have lost this game. Well, actually, they should have, because someone boldly predicted the outcome of that, and I was right. Missouri is they're not bad, but I think they were overrated. At UMass, boy, it ain't gonna matter. So this is one of those opportunities, like you need to recoup, and use this cupcake, get that taste out of your mouth, so get back on the winning track. I've got Missouri 42, UMass 14. It'll be a feel-good game for them. The defense will stand up. The offense will get a chance to stretch its legs a little bit, and they need to because they've been hurting a little bit. So this will be a good game for you. Missouri, go get them. Next up, 2:30 game, and this is the first of the biggies. You have Oklahoma versus Texas. This is in Dallas. I think it's at Jerry World, if I'm not mistaken. We know about Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl. We know about Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. We know about the Florida, Georgia, biggest cocktail party. There's lots of rivalry games. This right here is amongst the best of them. Texas was a very, very good team last year. Very good team. And Oklahoma beat them. It's just, you don't know. This is one of those type games. This year, I'm going to tell you, Texas is number one. And they really, if you really look at the schedule, they really haven't played anyone. I say that because they haven't. They haven't gotten into the meat of the SEC schedule. They haven't had a Vandy lean on them like Alabama has. But they know Oklahoma. They know each other. I just don't think, well, let's just talk about the game itself. Texas, good defense, good offense. I don't think they're as good as everybody makes them both out to be. But Oklahoma, I keep saying this every week, that offensive line's a problem. You've got to do something about this. And it's going to bite you this week. I've got my bold prediction, Texas 34, Oklahoma 24. It's going to be a good game. It'll be a rivalry game. A 10-point game is what I'm saying. I don't see a blowout. It's just, this is one of those kind of games where it brings out the best and the worst in both teams. And by the worst, I mean like aggressive, violent, and all the stuff. So we're going to see. But I got Texas winning it by 10. Feel feeling pretty comfortable about it, but we're going to find out. Next up, we have a 3:15 game. Mississippi State at Georgia. It's the Battle of the Bulldogs. So Georgia, you're like one of the best teams in the country. Mississippi State, you're like the worst team in the country. But are you really? They went to Texas last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I can't keep track. Anyway, they played at Texas, and for half that game, they actually went toe-to-toe with the Longhorns and looked pretty good. I think you're going to see more of that this week. I mean, State's in a rebuild. They're not going to be a threat to Georgia. But I think you're going to see a little spunk out of them. In the end, Georgia's going to pull away in. And by the way, Georgia does not score in the first half. They only score in the second half. That's their new thing now. It's an MO, their new MO. So you'll see some of that, I think. But in the end, Georgia's going to pull away. My bold prediction is Georgia 38, Mississippi State 17. But it's going to feel like a better game than that. State, like I said, you're in a rebuild. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything you're doing right now is building for next year and years beyond. Don't just keep being spunky, for lack of a better way to put it. Play your best game. See what happens. So, playing in Georgia will help. Good luck, dogs. The dogs are going to win. That's my bold prediction. The Bulldogs will win. That's safe. Next up, this is where it starts to really get interesting. 6 o'clock game, we have Florida at Tennessee. Florida is like, they've kind of sucked this year. But I'm going to tell you, of course, Billy Napier has been on the hot seat. It's like a tick, 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 clock's ticking, waiting for them to just drop the hammer on him and fire him. But he keeps on just lingering and lingering and lingering. And if you actually go back to the Mississippi State game, where they actually came out and looked pretty good, and they played, I think it was Southern Florida last week, and actually looked even better. And all of a sudden, you turn around and you realize that Florida's actually playing some kind of decent football. Now, Tennessee, on the other hand, just got through getting beat by Arkansas this past week. And you're like, Tennessee, are you really that good? Is Nico Pavarotti, I've done giving up trying to pronounce his last name. Mia Lava, however, that's a lava cake, whatever. And Nico, we're going to call him Nico, their quarterback. He's supposed to have been like this Heisman Trophy guy. They put too much on this kid. He's a freshman. He's going to be a good quarterback. He's not bad, but he is showing that he is an SEC freshman, and he's got some growing pains. And that makes this game interesting. Tennessee's defense, who's supposed to be elite, and don't get me wrong, they're a good defense, but there's something about this Florida game it just worries you. If you're a Tennessee fan, you should be worried. Now, my bold prediction is Tennessee 34, Florida 21. And that's actually going to be a little bit too close to comfort. And if Florida was actually to make this a good game and still lose, I think that's going to help Billy Napier's cause to stay there. Because you're going to Tennessee. You're expected to lose. And I want to tell you, crazy stuff happens in this game. If I woke up Sunday morning and found out, actually, I'll still be awake, but this is a figure of speech. If I woke up Sunday morning and found out Florida beat them, I wouldn't be shocked. Anyway, that's my bold prediction. Tennessee 34, Florida 21. Let's see how this falls. Next up, 6:30, the Magnolia Bowl. Ole Miss travels to the Bayou to play LSU. Night game in the Bayou, and Ole Miss has not beaten them there since 2008. There's a mystique about going playing down there. LSU night games down there, it's insane. It's crazy. I mean, it's like some mystical voodoo comes out of the swamp and like gives them something extra, helps them to win games. But they're not going to win this one. Anyway, here's your problem. Last year, LSU had extremely good offense, which I talk about. I've said this before, and a really horrible defense down here. Well, the defense has gotten a little better. Offense has gotten a little worse. They don't have their Heisman Trophy candidate from last year. Jaden Daniels, he's long gone. They're not, I don't know, something is just not quite right. Now, one thing that is a strong point for LSU is they have only given up 2 sacks this year. Ole Miss has 24, like tops in the country. Something's got to give. The key to this game is this. Ole Miss has one of the best defenses. And don't get me wrong, no matter how good you are, I mean, on any given day, somebody's going to score some points, and you're in the swamp and everything. But Florida's pass defense is ranked like 80th, 90th in the country, and Ole Miss is like, oh, yeah. Because for 2 weeks now, they've been playing some really tough defenses. And to have someone with a questionable secondary, Ole Miss is like salivating. Now, it's not going to be a massive blowout. It's still going to be a good game because it is the swamp. It is LSU. And it is at night. I mean, that just happens. But I've got some bold prediction. Ole Miss 35, LSU 24. And technically, that was at 11 points. That's actually a blowout down there. It's really not, but you know what I'm saying. To win by double digits down there is like unheard of. But it's going to be a good game. And once again, wake up. Actually, I will wake up maybe if I pass out from alcohol poisoning or something. I don't know. But if I were to find out that LSU were to beat them, it wouldn't shock me. They're good, and it can happen. But I'm sorry. I just think Ole Miss is going to be a little bit too much in the passing game. And their defense will hold them back enough to get the win. Next up, and this is the game. This is the 7th game of the night. And I got to tell you, I really had to stop. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, okay, I read it. And I thought, ooh, slow your roll, buddy. We have Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Now, the conversation in SEC a few weeks ago was, where's Vandy going to get another win? Can they even win an SEC game? I mean, how they can't get bowl eligible. Well, now that they have, and don't make no mistake about it, it was no fluke. They beat Bama. And now Kentucky's rolling in. Kentucky's got a great defense. Great defense. Offense, questionable and mediocre. And Vandy at home, right? They're on a mission. They're just on a mission. Can Kentucky beat them? Should Kentucky beat them? Possibly, maybe, sort of. I don't know. But I just feel like right now, you know, you worry about a team coming off a big win like that. Are they going to have an emotional letdown? They would have had an emotional letdown the last time they punted to Alabama in that game, and then they made them punt. They would have had an emotional letdown when there were 3 minutes to go in the game and they had the ball, and Bama had 3 timeouts, and they're going to make them go 3 and out and get the ball back and march down and win the game. They did not have an emotional letdown. They got 2 first downs and said, Bama, we're going to go to the victory formation. It's just so hard to say that about Vandy in the victory formation. Wow. If there's going to be a letdown, it would happen then. I don't think it's going to happen now. My bold prediction, it's going to be a good game now because it's going to be a defensive struggle. Kentucky's going to make them scratch and fight for everything. My bold prediction, I've got Vanderbilt 21, Kentucky 17, and Vandy is going to be fighting their way towards bowl eligibility. It's amazing. Anyway, that's about all I've got this week. I'm going to keep this relatively short and sweet. Do like and subscribe this, share this with people. Let's get more people watching this channel, and, well, we'll just see what happens here. I feel pretty good about these predictions. They're insane. They're bold. We'll see what happens. Like and subscribe, share it, come back every week, and, well, maybe, just maybe, you'll gamble all your life savings away this week and become rich. But I wouldn't do that. Anyway, I'll catch y'all next week. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you after the games.